Hello, it's Ryan from 2minutetennis.net, and in this video, I'm going to show you how to use both a platform and pinpoint stance on your serve and how you can practice them at home. So just draw a line and you've got what you need to practice these stances. So the platform stance, personally what I use, the platform stance is what you see Federer using. It's what you see Djokovic using. This is where they put their feet on the ground, their feet are planted, and they just push off from that positioning. The pinpoint stance, this is what you see John Isner use, Rafael Nadal, Serena Williams. That's when the back foot comes forward and then their feet kind of come to a pinpoint and then they push off into the serve. So let's talk about some key things you need to make sure you're doing if you want to keep using your platform, or maybe try a platform stance if you're used to the pinpoint. So on the platform stance, first, the basic idea is have your back foot parallel to the baseline, the front foot angled in. You are allowed to adjust those within a range of acceptability on both feet for what feels best for you. But one thing I want you to be careful of with your platform stance is to stay away from the Roger Federer platform stance, which is where there is a ton of space and the back foot is way behind. A lot of players feel that that will give them the ability to coil on their serve, and actually it gives you a false sense of coiling. The definition of a coil is when your upper body is going to be turned more than the lower body, when there's a separation between your shoulders and your hips. That's when the coil occurs in your back and then or in your trunk, and then you can uncoil and use that for racket speed. Well, when your back foot is this far behind you and your hips are in this position, the ability to coil only comes if you turn your back extremely to the opponent. And it typically for amateur players just doesn't work well for them. So what I want you to think of is keeping your feet on a skateboard. Actually have your feet more in line with your target. If that's my target, I have my toes more in line with where I want the ball to go, both on the do side and on the ad side. Feel like there's a straight line drawn from your back foot to your front foot, and then it's going to your target or to the service box. When you do that, that allows you to turn your shoulders more than your hips and your feet, and you truly get a coil. The next thing I want you to make sure of is on your platform stance that when you jump into the court, and I want you to jump into the court if you can, based on your level of play, and if not, you should just fall into the court. But the idea is the same whether you fall into the court or jump, and that is you have to make sure that if you jump, you aren't jumping to the side. I've been giving a lot of private Zoom lessons recently. This is where people around the world send me videos of their serves, their backhands, their forehands, and then we meet together live on Zoom, and I show them everything that they need to do in order to improve the speed, the spin, the accuracy, the confidence on any of the strokes. And I'll put them side by side with a pro, and I'll say, look at the difference between even Arthur Ashe or Roger Federer or Serena Williams. Look what the pro is doing, look what you're doing, this is what I want you to copy. What I love showing to players is the Stan Wawrinka movement into the court on his serve. He does not jump to the left as a right-hander. And if you're left-handed, just reverse all this. As a right-hander, he actually jumps slightly to the right on his serve. I absolutely love that, and I want you to make sure that you're doing that on your serve. Because if the toss is too much above you, or too left if you're right-handed, even on a regular flat serve, then you end up jumping and falling over. So I want you to pay attention when you film yourself and you look at yourself on video, that when you go into the court, you're either going straight in over the baseline or you're going slightly to the right with your body weight. That makes sure that you get your body weight going in the direction you actually want your racket going. And if you're right-handed, that's slightly off to the right of your target, putting spin on the ball. And it just makes sure you don't lose your posture falling over as you're hitting the shot. So really make sure that your feet are lined up with your target, back foot parallel to the net, front foot angled, and that when you go into the court, you don't fall over, but truly keep your posture. And you're gonna do that by tossing slightly off to the right of you to keep your posture and your weight going in. And then the last thing you can make sure of with your platform is that you kick your back foot up in order to keep your balance. So don't let this foot just stay down. Let the foot kick up. But I'm watching a lot of coaches, I'm watching a lot of juniors, especially on social media, and they are practicing hitting and really just holding when really the problem is that their toss was so far left that they couldn't hold their balance. So it really wasn't their foot not kicking up that was the problem. It was that their toss was way over their head, and that's when that's why they were falling over. So if you regulate your toss, getting that back foot to kick up will be fine for balance, but then you'll be right back in the ready position. When it comes to the pinpoint stance, this is something that I tried when I was a kid, didn't really feel that great to me, so I stopped using it, but I've had many students, many juniors especially, who didn't like the feeling of their serve, and I introduced the pinpoint to them, and they absolutely loved it. So the pinpoint stance is when you bring this back foot up, and instead of having a wide platform stance, you bring your feet together like a pinpoint. When you do this, it is really important that you do not slide your foot next to your front foot, because then you open up too much, and then you'll just bend your back down as you're hitting the shot. You lose racket speed because of that. So what you want is to make sure, and look at Isner while he does it, he brings his back foot up, but it's actually behind his front foot. He doesn't slide it next to, but he keeps it behind and actually slightly this way. He almost brings the front of his back foot to the back of his front foot. So it's like this. And by doing that, he keeps everything coiled, and then he can uncoil into the serve. So practice both. You can, let me grab something here off camera. Here's like a little broken rock the kids were playing with, or like a brick. I want you to put something here. If you find that you're someone who brings this foot around, put a cone, put a tennis ball, put anything there, and then practice your serve. Make sure that you don't knock that with your foot, that you bring this foot in and that it doesn't swing around over and hit whatever was there. When you do that, it keeps your hip position right, then your shoulders can coil off of that. But the same idea is true. If you're right-handed, get the toss slightly off to the right, so that when you explode up, you're not falling way over to your left to accommodate the toss, and now your body's all compromised. Toss slightly to the right so that your body weight can go into the serve, but then go right back to the ready position. I want you to practice both, because you might be using a platform stance, but the pinpoint is exactly what you need and your body needs in order to play your best tennis. So if you're using the pinpoint, try the platform. If you're using the platform, try the pinpoint. It's no different if you're a two-handed backhand. Every once in a while, hit a one-hander. Know what the other tennis players in the world feel like, because who knows, maybe this whole time you've been using a platform, but the pinpoint stance is perfect for you. If you go out right now and instead of mulching, if you don't feel like doing yard work right now, like myself, come out here and practice using the platform and the pinpoint stance. And if you do them both effectively, there's no doubt you're going to gain confidence, win more matches, and play much better tennis. This is Ryan Reedy from 2minutetennis.net. You got this.